Well, it gives me great pleasure to announce that the 2011 winner of the Hudson Private and Corporate Sector Award is Genevieve Atkins.
Well, thank God I wasn't a nun. I wouldn't be here today to receive this award. Thank you, Hudson's, for sponsoring the award. Thank you for the wonderful Leanne for nominating me and believing in me. And thank you to Telstra for putting on these awards and giving women in business the opportunity to excel and prove themselves. I have followed the Telstra Business Women's Award since 1995, when I was asked by Qantas, where once again Greg and I stood in as Greg, my partner, and myself as the RGM to speak on behalf and represent Qantas. Yes, I've had a long and interesting career with TAA. It was a very male-dominated industry. I wanted very much to succeed. I started from the bottom. I made my mind up that was my career, to work within the industry. I loved the airline. I went through TAA and all I wanted to do was I started in reservations. I moved to holiday travel. I did 6 years in international travel. And let me tell you, each and every one of you here, international travel and being a travel consultant is certainly a profession. I know with the internet, people try to be their own travel agent, but let me give you a little tip. It is a profession when you're booking international travel. I did that for about 6 years, and then I moved up and I became the manager of the TAA Centrepoint office, but not before I was acting manager TAA Centrepoint, and I had to prove myself to get that position. I was the only one with the knowledge, the background knowledge, and then my role was to become an executive salesperson. I wanted to get into the executive role where all the men were. Let me tell you, it took a period of 5 years, 7 applications and 21 interviews later before I became the executive salesperson. And once I became that, there was no stopping me. I knocked on every door in the city. I met the most wonderful people. If someone didn't have my business card, then something was wrong. I loved what I did. I loved winning business. I was driven my motivation was driven by winning business for the airline. The camaraderie between TAA and Ansett, even though they were in competition, the camaraderie in those days was fantastic, but I needed to win the market share for TAA. I remember vividly they had a traditional corporate golf day and only men could attend, and I understood that. But there was a couple of ladies from a very big government department, and I wanted them to come and join the corporate golf day. So I went to the sales manager and I said, please, I've got these 2 ladies and they only travel Ansett from that department. Please, I need them to come to the golf day. Oh no, Genevieve, you can't do that. It's only for men. And true it was the traditional day was just for men. Anyway, I then said, can we please go and talk to the regional general manager about it, because I know I could win this business. So we went together and I was expecting him to say no, but I kept at it. He said, all right, Genevieve, how many do you wish to take? I said, only 2. So the day came, ladies and gentlemen. There were 57 participants and there were 2 ladies, and I'll never forget it as long as I live. The game was played. This one lady birdied the 18th, and guess what happened? She won the golf day. I don't know who was the most shocked, myself or the 57 male participants. Since then, I've gone through Australian Airlines and Qantas, and if I may say, James Strong's words when he was with Australian Airlines was, treat the airline as if it was your own business. And that's exactly what I did all the way through Qantas and loved every minute of it. From then on, it was about building relationships. It was about caring for other people. It was about all simple. It was about helping other people to gain a beautiful holiday. When clients rang me up and said, I've got a problem with the flight, Genevieve, and this has happened, I didn't care whether it was the middle of the night or when it was, but that's how I succeeded in the corporate area, because I never promised anything I couldn't deliver. I always came back and looked after my clients. It was a wonderful, wonderful time, and each and every one of my supporters here today have played some part in my journey with TAA, Australian Airlines and Qantas. And now, the last 2 years for me has been with Travel Studio, and how proud I am to be with that Travel Studio, because since then I've instigated the Studio Network Club, which is a very important club for women in business to network and promote their own businesses. I would like now to thank again the sponsors, but also to thank my very dear friend Greg. Greg of 37 years, who stood by me, who mentored me in so many, many ways. He was always there to stand with me as my partner when I stood in for the Regional General Manager. He's here today, and without him and all he's taught me, I wouldn't be the person I am here today. And I also want to recognise my beautiful family. My sister's unable to be here, but I've got my wonderful nephew Tony, and I know he's proud of me, my wonderful grandniece Emily, of whom I mentor at times. And while I can just mention, things are so different, don't let us move away with technology. Technology today is so fast and furious, but everybody does at some stage need to speak to somebody else and get advice. And texting and all of this, I'm up with it, I understand it. And probably sitting here today, Emily's there with Tony, and even though they're sitting together, they're probably texting one another, because I guess that's how it works. But thank you, I've got no intention of retiring. I've decided to put the retiring age up to about 75. Thank you.